I'm really excited about knowing that we have someone who came from a working class background in that position, and hopefully that means more working folks can have more influence.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Huntsville's District 1 elected a union member to the city council, the first black woman to ever be on Huntsville's city council. Michelle Watkins, a member of the American Federation of Government Employees, AFGE, Local 1858. Really exciting. The North Alabama Area Labor Council endorsed her, as did the Communication Workers of America, CWA, Local 3905. And AFGE Local 1858 endorsed her, as did the AFGE's 5th District and National. So really exciting for her to win there, and looking forward to seeing what she does in the seat. She is the board member for that district. She has been the board member for that district for the past 8 years. So she has strong roots in the community. She's lived in the community in District 1 all her life. I believe she's an alumni of Alabama A&M. Isn't that right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think that's right. And as a board member, she worked very closely with Adam while Adam was a teacher and worked for the Alabama Education Association. So, Adam, I know that you've got a lot of thoughts about Michelle winning. So yeah, take it away.
Sure. Yeah, I'll give some thoughts here and let you jump back in here in a second. But I worked with Miss Watkins pretty closely for a few years. I represented about 1,500 Huntsville City Schools employees from 2015 to 2020. And, Michelle was elected in the fall of 2016. That was a really big deal when she was elected. She was challenging the school board president incumbent, Lori McCauley. At the time, crooked Casey Wardynski was the superintendent, and it was, probably the source of controversy in the board election. It was kind of a referendum on Wardynski and his leadership and the direction of the school system under that leadership. So in August 2016, she won, and she won pretty big, if I remember right. And it was really, an example of grassroots versus the establishment. The big money in town had really supported her opponent. They were determined to keep her out of that seat, but she was able to win. And she had a lot of backing from educators and just from, folks in the community. Like you said, Jacob, she's been in D1 her whole life. So, when she won, she was elected at the same time as Pam Hill, who was a retired educator who won in District 5. And those two wins on the school board really was kind of the, final straw for Casey Wardynski. He ended up resigning a few weeks later. Of course, amid controversy, he turns out he had a secret relationship with a contractor that the school business was doing business with, and that was coming to light, and he surely didn't want to be around when those two strong women were on the school board asking questions about it. So he dipped out of town. So I worked with Miss Watkins, in the years since then, and something I can say is that I always felt like we could have a good working relationship, even when we didn't agree, right? We didn't always agree. She was on the school board. I was representing the employees of the school board. Not always going to see eye to eye, but we were all able to always have, direct communication, honest communication, keep it real with each other, and keep it moving for the best interest of everybody involved. And I was always impressed that she was willing to ask uncomfortable questions and tough questions that needed to be asked. And she, never shied from that, and, faced a lot of opposition from the big money interest in town, the elites who run Huntsville. There are special interests, there are local elites, and they dominate local politics. The property developers, the CEOs, and of course the lawyers and accountants and such who work for those people.
Hey, 5 seconds. Just wanted to say that this is only possible because of our donors. If you want to see more of this, then consider donating yourself at tvlr.fm/donate.
So she is always someone that I have been impressed with, being willing to stand up to, those forces and speak up for the people. So, I really appreciate that. And, I was impressed that she was willing to engage with the North Alabama Area Labor Council. Our council did a questionnaire, a pretty detailed questionnaire, and we also did interviews. Ms. Watkins was willing to do both. To his credit, her opponent, Devin Keith, also engaged. So I do want to acknowledge that, and I do appreciate that he did so. I think the council just felt once we got to that runoff election that there was just a clear choice and a clear opportunity to make a difference. And I hope that the council did. I do believe there were quite a few union members in that district. If I remember right, over 1,000 union members in the area, or union households at least.
Yeah,
in the
1,000
area.
union members, some 2,500 members of union households.
Right. So it's a very working class district. North Huntsville is District 1 is North Huntsville, predominantly black area of town, very working class area of town, close to Alabama A&M University. Mae Jemison High School is the high school for the district. Miss Watkins was a teacher at J.O. Johnson, which was the previous school there. So, came up through the ranks, proud to see a union sister winning elected office. I am excited about, dialogue and just having open dialogue with the council person. I think is going to be really important for the Labor Council, for our unions in the area, as we try to advocate for more worker-friendly policies, right? Working folks often don't get much influence in local politics. But local politics is very close to us. It's something we interact with every day, and we deal with the consequences of it every day. And it's really important that union folks, that working folks get active and get engaged with local policy and local, policy makers. So I'm excited that, I at the very least, I know Michelle Watkins will engage in dialogue with us. She will hear us out. And, I can't say that for everyone on the Huntsville City Council. I can't say that for everyone, in every city council and school board in the area. I do want to take a moment to acknowledge the school board race in District 1. The Labor Council did endorse Patricia King, also an AFGE member. Unfortunately, she came up about 150 votes short in that runoff election. I also had worked with Ms. King closely through my education career. She was a reliable activist. I could count on her to, attend a school board meeting or a budget hearing, count on her to offer some citizen comments, ask some questions, stand up for the community. Ms. Chandra Jones ended up winning that school board seat. I was disappointed that Ms. Jones did not engage with the Labor Council. She did not respond to our questionnaires or interview requests. I do know plenty of educators who supported her campaign, and so I hope that those educators will have influence. And, I am concerned that the special interests spent a lot of money on that election. I know the Committee of 100, it's my understanding they spent $20,000, if not more, to win that election. So that's concerning as someone who, really fought against corporate education reform and privatization and dealt with the consequences of corporate influence in our local school systems. I don't think that those rich elites spend that kind of money for no reason. I think they want something in return. So that's a big concern. But as I said, I know plenty of educators who I really like and trust and respect who did back that candidate. And, I hope that they will have her ear and not just folks like the Committee of 100 and other special interests. So yeah, it's interesting days ahead. I'm very curious to know how the dynamics will change on the city council with Ms. Watkins on there. It should be interesting. I know there's been tension in the past between her and Mayor Tommy Battle. They have not always seen eye to eye. So that will be a fun thing to watch for sure. But I'm really, really excited about just knowing that we have someone who came from a working class background in that position, and hopefully that means more working folks can have more influence.
You just saw a clip from the Valley Labor Report. We are live every Saturday morning from 9:30 a.m. till 12:30 p.m. And we pride ourselves on keeping all of our content free to everybody so that we can talk to as many working folks as possible. If you support the work that we're doing, you think that it's important, you think that it's good, then consider making a monthly contribution to the project, and you can do that on our website, tvlr.fm.